Of course, they're going to start acting up now.
Well, we can like talk smack until people get here.
Talk smack. Smack talk.
I don't know what smack is.
All those bells and whistles.
I'm turning mine off because we get bitched out for it.
Let me
That's always fun.
do that. Oh, wow. Now live on your channel. Wow, that came across at the same time. That's interesting.
Whoa.
Hi, everybody. Hi, how's it going? Yes, we're here chilling. We actually had to cancel, so we thought we'd just jump in here, say hey, see how everybody's doing. How's your connection been? Hi. Oh, hi. So, yeah, we just thought we'd come in and see how you guys are all hanging, how things are going in your connection. Kind of maybe answer a few questions, smile a lot, give a kiss. That's always one. So you can start shooting the questions at any point. We've been extremely busy.
We have.
Yep, we got 5 things we got going on.
There's a lot going on over here.
At the same time.
All at the same
So
time.
if you miss this,
if you hear all that noise, let me tell you what this noise is. You're gonna love this, guys. You hear that mess?
Oh, the balls. Yay! Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Angie.
So we sit here like 80 hours a week, and I'll get up. Here's
Keep an eye on things for us, Angela.
There it is. There
It's the ball.
It's the chair. It's my chair.
Okay.
I'm learning to get
One of
used
our
to
wonderful
it.
coaches.
One of our coaches turned us on to it, and it's not horrible. If I can keep my feet up, if I can keep the ball inflated, I'm not. I could not eat as many sandwiches. Just put that in there. If I didn't eat as many sandwiches, then I wouldn't be flattening this ball out so much.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I feel balanced 90% of the time. Thing can be brought to my knees, crying in sick stomach. Do you know what causes this out of the blue? Thanks. Boy, that's an open-ended question, but it also has deep answers. If you're experiencing this when you're alone by yourself, are you creating space to love yourself through that, or space where you're not? And if you're pointing outside of yourself as the cause to it, what is actually you saying the actual cause is? So if it happens out of the blue, it could also be you. It could be, God, it could be so many
It
things.
could be
Death of the thought
hormonal.
process, death of the. It could be like certain things.
Could be hormonal.
Hormonal. Yeah,
Could be triggering.
Mm-hmm. Could also be the story you keep telling yourself that actually once it kind of subsides, you end up having to absorb it all.
Right.
I think we both went through that in different points and different times in our connection, where we just sat alone and cried and felt all kinds of pain coming out. But
I cry in the shower and I cry in the truck.
Yeah.
Bunny hair.
Yeah, bunny hair.
I like to kiss bunnies.
Bunny kisser.
Throw that out there.
Bunny kisser.
Bunny kisser.
Yeah.
We have a couple of office bunnies. I don't know if you can see. There's one. Baby bunny and big bunny.
Just running around. It's an interesting thing. If you've never, I mean, this is like a regular farm here. Anyway,
look, when you sit in the office 80 hours a week, you got to have some type of entertainment.
But at the same time, we got 2 hummingbirds.
Yeah, 2 hummingbirds right
2
outside
rabbits, 2 dogs.
Couple cats.
It just seems to be the.
We have 5 rabbits. There's 3 out my shack.
I think what's great is I'm starting to really understand more of why you keep the nature around more so. And I'm really starting to understand that sometimes it's the nature of things.
It's very grounding too.
Very connected.
Very grounding. When I hold the rabbit, when I hold the dog, when I hold the cat, goat, gorilla, you name it, I'll hold it, I'll kiss it, I don't care. Yeah, it really does connect me, ground me, connect me to nature a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Hello, beautiful divine lovers. Hi. Oh, hi, beautiful people. Hi, beautiful person. So happy to see you before it's dark here in France.
Here's
Okay,
the question.
we got a question.
And it's dark in France?
Well, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
At probably what, almost 9 o'clock? That's
Is
6 hour difference.
Is it on Thursday or Wednesday?
No, it's today.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's today. They're not Australian. Let's see. Your thoughts on cord cutting a twin. The energetic attachment has been really damaging over the years. I'd like to go solo on my mission work moving forward. Well,
you don't really want me to answer that, do you?
You want to give the 3D answer? Then
I
give the 5?
will give the 3D answer on this cord cutting.
Okay.
I know you have an awesome 5D analogy, and I think it's great, and it's spiritual, and it's very what's the word? It's telepathic, sort of.
Okay.
Right? Is that the right word?
Well,
okay. It's a very 5D answer. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And I agree with it.
Right. Okay.
However,
that's a but, just in case.
That is a but.
Okay.
That is a but. I'm going to agree with you. That's a but.
Hi, Josie. New master coach. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I do not. Oh, did we get that new email too?
Yeah.
I have tried it all. I've tried it all with lube and without lube, cutting the cord.
Okay.
None of it works. Here's the thing. Once you're connected, that's just it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're connected. That's just it. There is a virtual cord. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not. I just don't happen to believe in the cord cutting ritual. God, I'm going to be stoned for that. But I just don't. I'm sorry. It's my opinion.
Okay. So let's just look at nature for a moment and tell yourself the truth about cord cutting. The day you were born, you are connected through a cord to your mother. Cutting that cord doesn't mean you get the right to tell her she's not your mother and you're not connected. What you're trying to do is remove a thought pattern and process that have everything to do with nature and nothing with you. So you're trying to cut something that really, once it happened from your mother's standpoint, or woman you're connected from, you literally know that the connection still exists regardless. You're trying to tell yourself, or you're trying to go to somebody who's going to tell you they can energetically cut something. This makes no sense whatsoever. In other words, because of that being your mother, you were designed to be who you are. And all the choices that you make had nothing to do with your connection there, or did it? So what you're trying to do is cut out that belief system. You can't cut out a belief system created in nature. Nature doesn't really play that way, and nature doesn't even know what that means. The connection still remains. So somebody can help you bury it for a period of time, but nobody can cut it for real. Because literally what you're asking them to do is cut nature out of you. So if you look at it from that standpoint, is it about cutting the cord, or is it accepting the cord for where it stands? And if you're having a hard time accepting the connection that the cord is actually there for, it's not because you learned it here in this connection. You learned that in another connection another way. Does that?
Very much so.
Okay.
I want to use a little analogy here. The what is that, tug of war rope? And they have those big ropes with tapes on the end, big ropes, and you pull them, to try to get it to your side, get the flag over the line or whatever. That's what I think of when I hear a cord, twin cord, right? It's a push and pull.
Yes.
Right? That's what the cord is to me. It's the pull. It's definitely the pull. I'm not even going to lie and say that I haven't at one point in time wanted to break the connection, needed to break the connection, wanted a divorce, needed a separation, hated you, disliked you, you got annoying, you got on my nerves, and I didn't need the toxicity that was our cycles. Right?
Right.
And as much as those things went through me, that damn tug of war cord was still there. Right? That's so sweet. It was you don't understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
If I would have taken a big pair of ribbon cutting scissors and cut that cord in half, it was still there.
Right.
Right? It's just a shorter piece.
Or it got stronger
Or
because you were trying to cut it.
I'm sorry. My opinion is, and I have a lot of those, but it's a money grabber. And that's my opinion. I'm probably going to get crucified for that.
I can see that.
But again, that's my opinion.
And our opinions are just opinions.
They're just opinions.
And our experience to try to cut a cord that actually resonates off a vibration and frequency makes no sense. You literally will have to investigate it because it's not about the connection to them you want to cut out. It's the connection you have to yourself to them.
Correct.
You're trying to cut out. And you gotta, and the reason that's happening is because you found a way to disconnect from yourself and point at the connection as the reason why. This is where suffering usually finds a home, because you're going to suffer until you realize that the suffering is about a story you're telling yourself, not about the connection itself.
Right. I literally watched a video literally a couple weeks ago. I've said literally twice. That literally annoys me. Anyway, I saw a video where there was a woman and a man, and they were talking about cord cutting in the twin flame dynamic. And they were using pieces of yarn, and they had written the person's name on one end and their twin on the other end. And the male held the piece of yarn and the female did, and they cut it in half. And miraculously, the person was healed.
Oh, okay.
And it was, I don't know, $149.95. And we'd only charge $99.95 to cut a piece of rope. But joking. But literally, I watched that, and my heart hurt.
Yes.
Right? Because it's mind fuckery on a level that it is insane. What happens is now these people think, okay, I physically watched this piece of yarn being cut. Oh, I feel so much better, right? And the next morning they wake up and it's back there again, and they're out $149.95. You know what I'm saying? It's not that easy. You do not have to be with that person physically. But the cord is always going to be there. It just is. And I want to address this real quick. Palladian vibes. I don't know where you guys are, what you're doing, and you're in a little bit of trouble. But you've disappeared. Or you probably haven't. But I need an email, and we need to get the other one back on where she was. Right. So let's do that. Anyway.
The cord cutting, the one last thing on the whole thing. The only time we've actually seen somebody say that they had that cut, we followed the history all the way back in the connection to themselves and found out that they were adopted.
Right.
So the person that they originally came from had that separation and connection. So literally somebody had to make that decision to pull them away. That's why the belief has such strength.
Right.
It may work for one, but it won't work for another. It really depends on what you've been through and what you have allowed to be connected to you and what is the visible part of the truth in them.
Right.
So you can literally be separate from or be cut off from the person you're connected to if there's a backstory that supports it.
Right.
Because literally this connection really looks for all the ways you've been looking to be validated, and the way the connection works, it's showing you that that's literally what you've shown up as a connection to yourself in that validation. So good to see you too. Times are hard. Seeing this just settled me. Oh, well, hopefully this finds you doing better. How about the sleep? I'm up every hour or so flopping around, restless sleep. Will I ever sleep again?
You will.
Yes.
You will. I was there. Man, was I there.
We both were there last week.
Last week even.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we don't go through shit still, guys.
Yeah, but we're still here. We're still in love.
We still like each other.
We still like each other. Yeah. Not that that's not a common theme in this connection, because it really kind of is. It's up and down.
Let me address this, because I believe everybody will relate. And I saw somebody say something about the new moon. I don't know what I'm not an astrologer. I don't claim to be, and I don't claim to know all this astrology stuff. What I do know is something happened in the past 2 weeks with everybody, most everybody that we're talking to. And it also seems to be connected to female menstrual cycles, seem to be super duper intense, very heavy, and the hormonal imbalance is way off. So I'm noticing this in multiple people, right, all over the world.
Yeah.
So I know that it's not just me in our household, because if you're in the same household, you're on the same cycle. But it's beyond. So this was a global thing, right, that has affected a lot of people. This new moon, let's hope it clears that out. I noticed that. Man, my eyes.
Did it bother you?
These are too strong. These are not strong enough.
Right.
You know?
I bet you these are just right. Watch. Try
it. They're saying this. No. Anyway, so yeah, I'm noticing that especially when it comes to females, and the feminine energy had been really, really intense, to the point where strength has come out of it. Right? If that makes sense. It's been a feminist time of standing in our power and not putting up with any bullshit, and not allowing ourselves to put up with any bullshit. Right? And I believe it's been the source of a lot of conflict all over everywhere, where it's just people are tired of the cycles. And it's not the person, it's the cycles.
The experience felt like an emotional kidnapping.
Yes.
The emotional connection that we share, that we have, is very strong, stronger than most. But it's not without its tests,
right,
and not without its disconnects. Because most things that happen emotionally, and an emotional connection such as a connection this powerful, it literally makes all of the emotions that you buried, all of the emotions you end up stuffing down, all of the emotions that show up at very specific times, make some kind of wave where it doesn't connect. When you and I go through an emotional disconnect, we both are pissed at each other. And it's not really about each other as much as it is an individual aspect. Would you say that that's
for sure?
And if you look at this connection really does need emotional connection. The thing is, if you've never experienced in your life emotional connection, this will be the greatest challenge in this connection you will be under, because it literally wants you to go through every emotion as though it's the first time and the last time. It's like it's very in your face. Mm-hmm. So hopefully all of you survive that.
I want to take a minute, because you're going to have to go down just a little bit, because we should keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Okay, so we got a few coaches in the room. Josie's in here. One of our instructing coaches is in the room, Michelle. Hey, Michelle, please chime in.
Yes.
Please chime in. Josie's one of our brand new master coaches. Let's welcome her into the room. She's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Angela's in here too.
Angela? Yeah. I didn't even know that. Hello.
Yeah, she's one of our senior coaches. So hopefully that answered your question about the sleep. My therapist ridiculed me about my connection. She laughed at my face. Bastard.
Oh, that's awesome. She's only getting paid to keep you sick. Man, am I got a mouth on me today.
Yes. But sometimes the truth is something we need to hear. And it's not that, I don't think she's intentionally making you sick, but sometimes when you actually go to a therapist, you're not going to a therapist to seek information about a spiritual connection. You're seeking a therapist for human connection. They're not the same thing. So I would tell you, it may be that you probably need to choose somebody who's going to be able to really listen and listen to your connection, but pay more closer attention to the connection you have to yourself. This laughing in the face, I don't know how professional that was, and hopefully you said something. Hi, Soul Fam. I have a question. I'm happy in my life, but I keep thinking about my opposite. How do I get over this or through this?
Accept it, honey.
What is your level of acceptance of self and your connection, or the opposite? What is opposite? I guess maybe how opposite actually shows up will be the opposite the opposite you're going to get. Because if you're choosing them, you're going to get the opposite from them, which is them not choosing you. So let's look at the word opposite and what that really means to you. Is everybody ready for this new moon? That's a good question.
It's got to be better than the old one.
Yeah. Can your twin flame have narcissistic tendencies?
Yes.
Why did I feel a little triggered? Just no.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah,
It was
actually,
funny.
it's not okay. Narcissistic.
Don't we all have narcissistic tendencies?
We do.
Let's get it
I
right.
think the degree of energy that's in it, or
It's
in
how
the
much you
person-
believe in it, I think. If I believe I was a narcissistic asshole, I could be a narcissistic asshole.
True, but the work that we do, we
Happened on Tuesday.
actually hear the backstory
Right.
of how a person got that way.
Right.
And sometimes it's all about the backstory. Taking the time to actually listen to someone. And it's interesting because, you know, a lot of people put up narcissistic and so on and so forth. But if you go and look up what's treated in this particular case, it is a lot of active listening, because you're not really paying attention to why they have the view they have. Their memories may entitle them to be more self-absorbed because of things they experienced, whether they raised themselves, whether they lived in a family where they really weren't cared for or emotionally paid attention to the way that they wanted or needed. So sometimes these are just wounds showing up with a shield over it that makes it seem like they don't care or have no care in that space. And for them to care in that space is going to get them hurt. So they literally have to stay that way as a defense. I don't know what else to do. I have a family. I think I can accept and move on. Hopefully, in that acceptance doesn't come from thought. It comes from feeling. So look for the feeling of acceptance before you get into the thought, because sometimes thinking keeps non-acceptance around longer than it should. Narcissism and codependency are two sides of the same coin. Both are a disconnect from self, reconnect with self.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I'd like to know your point of view. Do you think someone who's not a TF could create signs like TF signs and feelings every day and for 2 years? Yes, I'm talking about doubts.
That was, I gotta say hi, Jack. He just texted us a picture while he was, I'm watching this.
Oh,
That's awesome.
So the question is, could somebody come into your life who creates signs like a TF sign and feelings? Thing is when you're attuned and you're in the energy of connection, you will attract connection. So sometimes what will happen is you may have somebody who's actually paying closer attention to the things you pay closer attention to, and maybe mimicking things that you think are them. But I guess the question would be, what is your connection to yourself like? How strong is it? Or how do you experience your connection to yourself before anyone else?
What would a Lee and Sherry video be without Gemma drinking water
Hey, Gemma,
in the
that's enough.
background?
Thank you. Bye.
So, yeah, did we finish that? Because I kind of feel like it's left.
Let's see. Every day and for 2 years. Can someone outside who doesn't know what TF or experience TF, could they be drawn to you and mimic the connection in a way that is a TF way?
That's what, well, that's hairy, because that's what people call a catalyst or a step in or a drop in, or I don't know, whatever everybody calls them.
Yeah.
Catalyst,
There's also
step in twin, or whatever it is. I don't know.
well, there's also going to be somebody who's going to reflect back to you your connection to yourself. And because you find this connection, they may do that. But at some point when your growth happens, something changes in that particular connection.
I have, when it comes to the TF and this connection, I just, again, my personal opinion is maybe I should start a church of Sherry's personal opinion. But
let's see what you did there.
Like literally, to me, I got distracted.
The rabbit. Yeah.
What were we talking about?
You're talking about the signs and the experience of somebody showing up.
Yeah, I got it. So in my opinion, again, I feel like you have one twin flame. Really one. Everyone else who you have that connection with is a soulmate, right? I know I have a soulmate that's not Lee. I don't have to talk to him. I don't have to be with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Talk in years. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't feel him when he's in pain.
Right.
I don't telepathically talk to him. Right. None of that stuff goes on. It's just that we were very, 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 very much alike and did a lot of great things. And you know what I mean? Did a lot of fun things. The problem is with that is sometimes and oftentimes you're too much alike. Right? You're going to find that your twin flame is going to have opposites. Opposite likes, opposite dislikes. Things aren't going to, soulmates finish each other's sentences. Twin flames like, what the fuck did you just say? It's the truth.
Sorry, I hear that a lot.
It's the truth. You know what I mean? It is. A twin flame is going to want to please without being asked because that pleases you, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
To want to please.
If it's self-reflective.
If it's self-reflective, yes. A soulmate is like, you don't get that done, right? But you know, if you want to help, I'll help you, type of thing.
Right.
There's so many very, very similar things, but there's so many very, very different things, right? So somebody could very well come along and have a lot of the same qualities that you do, right? However, the qualities that we don't match up, that person can have. So it's like,
right.
the perfect picture. And Lee and I played this game the other night. I'm like, build me a man.
Oh, that was interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I thought having fun was what we were at. But I didn't know that it was all going to be serious. It got serious. I was like,
I want to know what you think my type was.
But what was interesting is I see Sherry not the way Sherry sees Sherry. So I see your essence and your energy, which doesn't age. So I started picking out a guy that looked just like this guy that she's been, her first husband.
A 1980s rock star. And
pretty much.
It was a fun game because I built you a beautiful one. But
I still have no comment if you noticed. I never commented on it, and I still won't comment on it because I'm like,
Anyway.
When you get to know me, that'll make more sense. Yeah.
This is what, but honestly, what happens is a soulmate will come along and fulfill things in you. Okay, you got to pay attention to this because this is important. The soulmate will fulfill the things in you that the twin flame doesn't because you don't.
Oh,
does that make sense? Now,
you just want 5D.
If
You're not
you
supposed to. I'm 5D. You stay in the 3. Get out of my lane.
If the twin would fulfill those, right? It's because you did it.
Yes. Your buddy escaped. Jumped over the damn cage.
She just jumped over.
She said, I'm out of here. Yeah, it happens to us. So hopefully that resonated with a lot of you. But it also points you back inside yourself. The goal is the answers to this connection, and we've been saying this, and we will continue to say this. You'll never see us say anything different. The connection and what it actually is trying to bring to you is about your connection to yourself, not your connection to this person. So if you are in some form of resistance, what would it take for you to let go of any resistance so you can have peace? That's literally what this connection will bring out in you in the worst way. and it's not comfortable for anyone.
You're both literally the same as each other. It's crazy. She said literally.
Okay. You can't erase the connection, even if you want to. Not possible. Sorry.
Thank you for that.
We love you too. Thank you. Mindfuckery. Yes, mindfuckery is fun. Hi, Michelle. Oh, it jumped up. It does that. Let's see. No, we'll need to talk to that one. So we'll come back down to that one. Let's see here. I'm trying to keep up. Everything jumped up real fast, so I'm trying to make sure I didn't lose anybody.
I did a woman wrong. No. We need to talk to this person ASAP.
Which one?
Right here.
Oh, yeah, cool. Can you email us, please? We want to talk to you.
Can you email us right now at info@relationshipreinvented.com?
We got you.
Relationshipreinvented.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do this. We have a session at 3, so we've got a few minutes. We need to talk to you.
Yeah, we want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, please. Let's make sure that we're. Oh my God! Yes, the menstrual cycle.
Oh, it was so bad.
The menstrual cycle. It is sad that they took advantage of them. This connection is about connection to you, acceptance of it, and not specific outcome. Yes, it is. Yes, it has sleep.
Hello, all the way in Europe. And Paris. I saw Paris too.
Paris,
awesome.
Yes. You guys are all up there. Let's see. Root camp, awesome. Want to see the connection to yourself and all of the ways that you believe the connection has to show up. Oh, hey, there's spiritual healing therapy. Another coach. Hey, that was awesome, Sherry.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Let's see. My twin now denies this connection, even though he stated he felt it. He said he never had feelings for me, though he stated he did before. Have you two ever said this to one another? Yeah. We've gone through that.
Oh, 1,000,000 times. I'm not connected to you. How many times?
For you or for me?
Both of us.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. But then what's interesting is every time we do that, something on the inside.
It's like lightning.
It's like, and the next thing you know, it's like, you did that on purpose. Like, I know you made me hurt on the inside on purpose. That's a fucked up way
I
to have
stopped saying it. And you know
sorry.
what I say now? I stopped saying it and I say, I don't want to be connected.
Well, it's because
I stopped saying I'm not connected to you because I know we both know it's a lie. So I'll say, I don't want to be connected.
You know, here's what's interesting is I believe the universe has us together so in a space that people, you guys can, I don't know if you can imagine being with your twin every second of every day for 7 years straight, 7 years straight, and then not having any conflict or not having those moments where you come into those spaces where just spew venom.
Yeah.
And we actually, Sherry's better at it than I am.
There's not a bunny running loose in the office. If you see a bunny running loose in the office, it's fine. It's okay.
That's just
it happens.
Obi's right here.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's
nobody's mistreating any animals. We're not pulling them out of hats. Believe me.
Right.
They're getting fed a lot.
But yeah, this connection is very painful in a lot of different ways. But one of the most beautiful parts of this is every single time, it's not like we're driven apart, we're driven closer. And we understand and feel each other closer than we have before. And sometimes that really does create the way that we've seen people just go into separation because they read on the internet that separation is supposed to happen. They read that separation will occur. They read, and they let the outside information place itself on the inside connection. And it literally is the separation of the connection to yourself before the other person. And it's really, really difficult because we're two. We have a family of coaches. We have a family of people who literally said, okay, the only reason a lot of the outside stuff happens is because somebody told somebody it needed to, not because this person wanted it to themselves. So it literally is about doing this work. And we want to definitely make sure that you guys know we're here for that. We're going to have to go because we're going to try to see if we can talk to Cool. Cool, please reach out to us. We got you. Not going to let anything happen.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to you. So just message us immediately.
Yes. And we love all of you guys. Thank you for spending some time with us today. Don't worry, we're not going that far. We will be back. If you guys look for us, I'm thinking we could probably maybe Friday pop in for a minute. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to see us on Friday, if you have some questions, we're here. We got you.
Yeah, you guys all send healing energy out to
all of us. Let's send healing energy
and allow us to the time to speak with him or her. We're not sure.
Yeah.
I believe it's him.
Yeah.
And do what it is we do. Root camp obviously is a life changer.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a life changer. So get in on some root camp.
Yep. There's coaches in here who can do it, and we can do it. So
it's inner healing that you wouldn't believe. It's awesome. And hello in Malaysia. Did you guys ever find that jet?
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah. Man.
Oh,
we've got
what a tragedy.
We have a coach in Malaysia.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, definitely find us. If you guys need us, we love you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for spending some time with us today, and we will see you.
Any inquiries, info, at relationshipreinvented.com.
Absolutely.
Somebody from Florida got on our website, so we're having it worked
on. Yes, there's that.
It's fine. Having it worked on. So, info at relationshipreinvented.com. Let's get your healing going.
Yes. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.